Hey guys, this is Alex and this is Abdul, and we're with Wilson Amplifiers, and this time we're going to be actually comparing and contrasting each of the Wilson Pro units that we've gone over in other videos. So I guess the first thing to do will be to talk about these really big ones and like what makes them different from one another.
So right off the bat, I mean, this is your Wilson 4300. And then this one, we've got the Wilson 1300.
Yeah.
Uplink and downlink power are the same. The biggest differences that you'll see is the amount of ports that you have on each of these boosters. To simplify things, the 1300 is one booster, the 4300 is 4 boosters. You've got one port that basically will do what one of these ports would do, so you've got 4 to maximize the amount of antennas that you want to run inside. It's very common for people to run 4 to 6 antennas per port. So you're talking about, I mean, a 40,000 square foot building on this one here on the 1300, and then for the 4300, you're probably talking closer to about 100,000 square feet of coverage. The other thing to note is that both of these do have 3 ports. Multi-tower targeting is something that Wilson does bring to the table with these 2 boosters. What that allows is the user to do is to run 3 separate donor lines to your donor antenna port on the outside. So if you wanted to have 3 directional antennas, 1 per carrier, T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, and Verizon, you can absolutely do so with these. These cover band 4, 25, band 5, and band 12 and 13. Absolutely great systems. Something that these feature, they both offer cloud control.
Yep.
So Wilson has made it very easy to navigate, pull your data points to see what your uplink and downlink power are at certain times of the day. You can shut off bands manually. And another really cool feature is that you don't have to put a separate modem to these systems. You can actually cloud control a remote into these systems just by using the donor antenna that's already in there. So really, really good feature for people that don't want to have like an actual like LAN port security breach in a lot of these companies.
Yeah.
What else?
I mean, really the big thing to note about the differences between the 2 is just the coverage range, right?
Yep.
This one, like we said, is 4 boosters in one. So if you have a really large building, let's say a factory or a multi-layer, apartment complex or something very large that needs a lot of coverage in different rooms, complicated layouts, this one's going to be better than this one. But if you're looking for just, like a single warehouse or maybe a larger, maybe another 2 or 3 story building, this is going to be okay for you. And another thing to mention, we have this Pro 1100 here. All of the features that are in the lower grade ones also carry over to the higher grade ones. So there is no drop off. So everything that we said about this, we're going to talk about what's not present in this here next.
So with the Pro 1100, it does not offer cloud control. But the good thing about this is that it allows you to shut off your bands manually on the LCD screen.
Correct.
Which is the biggest selling factor on this one if you were to compare it, I guess, to the Pro 70 Plus.
Yeah.
So with the Pro 70 Plus, for example, if you know you're in a very busy environment and you're trying to pull in a certain carrier and you're going to be faced with oscillation or overload issues, you're going to find that this one may shut down or it may be blinking orange or red a lot of the times. So this probably won't be the most suitable amp to use in that type of environment. I would absolutely stress to go with something with the Wilson Pro 1100. Very, very good amp for that particular type of environment.
Yeah, the Pro 1100 is one that we recommend for what? I mean, basically.
I think that's pretty much our go-to standard now.
Yeah, this is typically our standard commercial. Any office space. I mean, this is probably the one that we recommend in any commercial situation that is smaller than, what, 40,000 square foot?
So
maybe a little less, 35,000 is what we rate this one to be.
So I believe the 4300 is rated up to 100,000 square feet, given that all the circumstances are good, the good cell signal quality outside. 100,000 is what you can expect with the 4300. With the 1300, I believe they rated at 40,000 square feet.
Yeah,
with,
about right.
With a good coverage outside. The 1100, I believe it's 35.
I think it's 35.
35,000.
Yeah. So, you know, pretty good.
I mean, you could easily cover a warehouse space.
Yeah.
With something like this.
I mean, what, like basements? We've used it in some basements.
Correct.
Yeah, a lot of different uses. The Pro 70 Plus, you know, it's the lowest grade we offer, and it's really, really strong still. It's still like, what, about 25,000, we would say?
I would say 20 to 25,000. I
Yeah.
mean, this is your entry-level commercial booster kit.
Yeah.
I think this one is probably most suited for if you've got maybe one or two antennas that you're trying to run in one specific spot. This is a good bang for your buck. If you're trying to run a booster for, let's say, a high-end home application, this is absolutely a good choice. Other than that, I think the 1100 does bring a lot more to the table just with that band shutoff feature. And then, you know, the sky's the limits after that. The 1300, ideally 40,000 square feet.
What about weak signal areas? Places that have really bad outside signal?
Well, I mean, when you have a bad signal, I think the biggest thing to take away is you probably want to go with something like a minimum of a 1300. It's going to give you the best uplink and downlink on this particular booster.
That makes sense. So these are the same uplink and downlink, but this one is a little bit
It's a little
weaker. Yeah. So that makes sense. So that's another major advantage of this one is not only does it cover a little more, but it has a little bit more power just overall.
And you get the features of cloud control. Now that unlocks a lot of different features like we talked about. You can run multiple donor lines. You can run antennas in multiple locations, and this thing will handle it. And if you're running into issues where the I guess you can call it the lines of cable are exceeding 100 feet, absolutely go with a 1300. If you're doing multiple stories, let's say 3-4 story buildings, 4300 is a good option. You know, you've got your 4 ports. You could run 1 port per floor, is a good example. So it's all about efficiency, and I think the 4300 is definitely like the Cadillac of all these.
Yeah, it seems that way. So for which ones of these do you think they can do it themselves? So one where like somebody can do it themselves, they can come in and just be like, I'm gonna buy this system and just install it themselves.
I think this is kind of where the dividing point is.
Okay.
For a home user or for a self-installer, I think the Pro 70 Plus and the Pro 1100 is definitely something that would be very comfortable for the users to, I guess, install if they've experience with installing boosters in the past. These two here, I tell everybody this, it's as efficient as the user. You know, if you have a good installation, good prep work, you're gonna get the best bang for your buck on these. If you don't have, you know, the proper signal data points that you need, we don't do IB wave designs, you're going to struggle a little bit with getting the most efficiency out of these systems.
Yeah. So hopefully this has helped you guys understand the line a little bit better, what the differences are, where you can
Draw the line.
Draw the line, yeah, exactly. So this is a question we get a lot. So hopefully this was helpful. Of course, we do offer professional installation, design on any of these systems. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call us. The number is likely going to be around here somewhere. So just let us know. Thanks.